Welcome back into NFL Daily once again. I am your host, Tom Downey, here to break down the NFL rumors and news floating out there right now. There's a heavy head coach angle, which, makes sense. Just ended Black Monday after all. We'll begin with a sitting head coach, though, and some COVID issues for the Cleveland Browns, proving once again, unfortunately so, that God does hate Cleveland. Head coach Kevin Stefanski tested positive for COVID. He will not be able to coach against the Pittsburgh Steelers. A few other assistants and a growing number of players over the past couple days, including dating back to last week, have also tested positive. So far, the NFL, well, they've shown no interest in delaying this game. And to be blunt, this is really unfair and it sucks for Cleveland. Now, that's part of the nature of playing in the middle of a pandemic. But this is brutal for the Browns, man. I feel terrible for this organization, for their fan base, and for everyone. This is an organization that has waited so long to play in a playoff game, and here they are. They get one against the Steelers. It's the 7-3 matchup, and they're going to be down their head coach and their play caller. That's Kevin Stefanski. Alex Van Pelt, the OC, will handle play calling duties for this game. This is brutal. Joel Bitonio, one of their best offensive linemen, one of the best offensive linemen, frankly, in the NFL. He's also out of this one. It's brutal for the Browns. We'll see what happens, of course, on game day. All right, let's move on now to Urban Meyer, one of the biggest NFL rumors out there. There was the report from Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk that Urban wants $12 million per year. Ian Rappaport says, no, that's not true. He's not going to get it. And then Florio got all upset like, oh, NFL-controlled media, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. We'll see what he gets. Doesn't really matter that much in the end anyway. The update here is that there is a new contender, reportedly, for Urban Meyer. Bruce Feldman of Fox Sports and The Athletic reports that the Chargers have interest in at least interviewing Urban Meyer. Remember, the way back when, before the Jags even officially fired Doug Marrone, there was the report that Meyer expects to get that particular job. And it's a fascinating potential hire here, right? Everywhere Urban Meyer has gone, but it's only been to the college level, he's won. Bowling Green, Utah, Florida, OSU, awesome. But those last two stints, by the way, for Florida and Ohio State, They ended amid health concerns and Urban Meyer choosing to retire and then, at least for the Florida to OSU job, jumping back into it with a different role, a different team, but also having success. Urban's never coached in the NFL. I genuinely don't know how good he would be because in reality, it's a different game. We saw Nick Saban struggle, but I think it's at least worth the gamble, right? So I'm going to make this question the pinned comment on today's video. If you ran an NFL team, would you want your favorite team, if they're switching for a head coach, to hire Urban Meyer? Get your votes in here if you get the ad break. Y for yes or N for no. Oh, baby. Jason Garrett to the Chargers. The Chargers have officially requested to interview the current Giants offensive coordinator, which led to just laughter across social media, and for good reason. Man, are we really going to do this? Like, it's one thing. Like, we know Jason Garrett was not a complete and unmitigated disaster. He was fine, I guess, as Cowboys head coach. And if you want to go you know what, Garrett should get a second chance at some point, I actually get that. That's, I think, reasonable. But it should not come in a year where he led a Giants offense to being a bottom 5 unit in the NFL. Like, this is not the opportunity that Jason Garrett is worthy of. The timing is all wrong here. The report that came out, by the way, was that the Chargers owner, Dean Spanos, is listening to the likes of Jimmy Johnson and Norv Turner. They suggested Garrett. Guys, it is 2021. Let's try something different. Let's not go with the same failed retread, which is why I like some of these other reported interviews. Arthur Smith, Titans OC. Talk more about him in a little bit. Matt Eberflus. I actually like him a lot more than Jason Garrett, who used to be on Garrett's staff. We mentioned Garrett, right? Other reported interviews or interview requests that have been made. Brian Dable of the Buffalo Bills. I would love that hire. Or Eric Bieniemy. Or hell, even Joe Brady. Yeah, they haven't been head coaches before. But you know what? You got to make sure you develop Justin Herbert. I think these young, promising, innovative offensive minds, Dable, Bieniemy, hell, even Joe Brady, make an awful lot of sense. And Brandon Staley, by the way, in just 1 year as the Rams defensive coordinator, suddenly looks like the Sean McVay version of defensive minds. So any of these 4 names, heck yeah, sign me up. Not Jason Garrett. That's a failed retread. Let's do something different. Let's not do the same old things and then be surprised when they don't win a Super Bowl with that guy or even have that much playoff success. So who should the Chargers hire? I think Brian Daboll would be a home run hire for this organization, but I want to hear you guys too. What do you think? Let me know in the comments section. Now, while you're down there, by the way, you can go check out the link we'll put in there, chatsports.com/stay safe. NFL face coverings, 75% off. Yeah, it's a fantastic deal right there. These 3-packs, crazy low, $6.25 a piece. That's an unreal deal when we're still going to have to be wearing them for a little bit, it seems like. So go check them out today, chatsports.com/stay safe. They have them for all 32 NFL teams, so all you got to do is click that link, find your favorite team, and get yours today. Let's talk Eagles here because I am just fascinated by the Doug Pederson drama going on right now. Remains in hot water with apparently some of his own players after a Week 17 effort that was lackadaisical at best in terms of who they played and the decisions they made there. Now, running back Miles Sanders today publicly criticized the benching of Jalen Hurts. Now, I do want to make note, Sanders did not play in the game for the Eagles against the Washington football team. And there was an anonymous report in Philadelphia media that said players were upset with Pederson. And then Sanders appeared to at least confirm. And here's what he said this morning on Philadelphia Sports Talk Radio. Man, if I'm being honest, nobody liked the decision. Nobody. That's all I can really say. I don't know who was the main person behind that decision. All I know is that a lot of people on the team were confused. That's not what you want publicly sitting out there, especially for a head coach who expected to return, but as we film this, officially has not been announced as returning. So, the decision, by the way, to bench Jalen Hurts was not necessarily a tanking one. He was not playing well. Yeah, he had 34 yards on the ground and 2 scores, especially in the red zone. He's great in that area. 7 of 20. 72 yards. Like, I know the Eagles supporting staff is not great. Supporting cast is not great. But he wasn't great. The real issue is that you pulled Jalen Hurts, and then you were like, oh, yeah, Nate Sudfeld, and it was laughable to watch him play. He was horrible. Like, he had no business being out there. Hurts, clearly the better player. That was your real tanking move, was to go to Sudfeld and then keep him out there and then not really try to go downfield late in the game. So Pederson, man, you got to be careful you don't lose that locker room in a very drama-filled and frustratingly disappointing year for Philadelphia. What are they going to do? I think they keep him, but I want to let you guys get your votes in here. You're in charge. What are you doing with Doug Pederson? Type K for you're going to keep him, or type in F for you're going to fire him. Now, if the Eagles do fire him, hey, we're going to break that down. We're going to keep you guys covered on everything going on around the NFL head coaching search world. If you want updates, all you got to do is hit that big red button and subscribe today. Speaking of head coaching updates, how about Arthur Smith, who per ESPN's Adam Schefter, is set to interview for all 6 open NFL head coaching gigs. That's pretty damn impressive. He is, after all, one of the top young coordinators in the NFL, and the work and success that he's had with Ryan Tannehill is not going overlooked. After all, maybe for the Jets, you're like, well, Adam Gase was bad with Ryan Tannehill. Let's hire the guy who was good with him, right? And again, 6 openings right now. The Atlanta Falcons, the Detroit Lions, the Houston Texans, the Jacksonville Jags, the LA Chargers, and the New York Football Jets. Frankly, those are all fairly intriguing jobs. All those teams have a young quarterback in place, like Justin Herbert. They're going to have an early round draft pick, the Jags, Jets, and the Falcons too, or they have a bit of an established quarterback. Deshaun Watson fits as that young and also established category. Matt Stafford, Matt Ryan. Those are all pretty good jobs because the quarterback spot is either filled or will be very quickly filled via the NFL draft. So with that in mind, with all these 6 jobs being open and maybe more coming, probably not, what is the best open NFL head coaching gig right now? Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. There really aren't that many wrong answers. I am a sneaky high on the Jags job, by the way. Trevor Lawrence, cap space, and draft picks. That's fun. But let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Let's wrap things up here with some Dak Prescott talk. Player talk for the first time today, not including the Browns. Jerry Jones on radio today conceded Dak Prescott's got leverage in the contract talks with the Cowboys, which, of course he does. Now, with the season wrapping up, Dak Prescott is officially eligible to sign his extension. And clearly, the Cowboys missed their franchise quarterback this year. That's very obvious, very clear as day. That's not really up for debate. It's up for debate that Dak has leverage, right? You include the rushing and receiving touchdowns. In his 4.5 games, he played really well this year, was willing his offense and his team back into games they truly had no business being in. The issue for the Cowboys is that they waited too long. The cost for a Dak Prescott extension, it's going to be a lot. They let Deshaun Watson and Wilson and Goff and Wentz, who was once one of the highest paid quarterbacks, now is no longer top 5 and won't be in the end once he ends up getting moved. And then Mahomes, too. It's expensive. His franchise tag is going to be almost $38 million. If you can get him for the Deshaun Watson deal, I think you jump all over that if you're the Dallas Cowboys. It might end up costing you more because that's how quarterback contracts work. The latest guy, he always ends up getting paid the most. The Cowboys kept trying to offer deals to Dak that were not quite the highest paid quarterback at the time, and Dak was like, fine, I'll bet on myself, and yeah, he got hurt. Ended up being okay in the end. It's going to be an expensive deal for the Cowboys and Dak Prescott, but if they get that done, they get that out of the way, they can focus on their other moves, maybe firing a defensive coordinator, figuring out their defense in general because they certainly need help. But the latest there is that maybe there's progress going forward for the Cowboys and Dak Prescott's contract.